Alright, so now we're going to use our killer Joe to do some admin work. Like I said, it took us back to the screen where it wants us to use the root credentials. So that's why we need this link. And once we use this link, so it automatically populated the account number, and then we're going to do password 12 and sign in. Alright, so now it's going to ask you to change the password, and you can use whatever you want. Confirm password change, save, and here we are. So here, once you come in, like the first thing you want to do is select the region US East 1. I don't know, I feel like I mentioned this before, but like anyways, you want to use US East 1 North Virginia when you are using the AWS, because that's where it releases the latest features. So this is where we got the AWS setup. Now the second thing, not the second thing, now you want to bookmark this link. So I already have a bookmark here. I'm just going to change it, edit. And so next time you want to come here, it just takes you straight back to this place instead of having to go to US like AWS console, blah, 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 and then putting this account number. So do this. All right, so next thing we're going to do is how to use these credentials. So let me pause. All right, so now we're going to need to set up the AWS command line tool. So the usual google.com setup AWSCLI. So for doing this, you got to do a few things. I'm going to start with installing AWSCLI version 2. Yeah, we want the version 2. So I'm going to go with Mac OS. If you guys, and you should be using Linux or Unix or Mac OS, you should not be using Windows, but if you are, then go the Windows route. I'm going to go to the Mac OS route. So first thing first, where is my iTerm? Okay, so this is a software called iTerm 2. I have already created a directory called Terraform where I'm going to work with everything for this particular training. So I'm going to start AWS. So I'm going to make a directory called software. cd software, and now the curl command is going to download that file. It's actually connect URL. So we got the file here. Now we're gonna unzip this file, and then once the unzip is complete, we're gonna do sudo AWS install and it should complete. Alright, so AWS2 dash version. This is extremely fast. Okay, so now this is the command line interface that we're going to use to interact with AWS. But first we need to provide credentials to connect to AWS, and this is where this is the access key ID that we downloaded when we created user. All right, then the security key, and then default region, like I said, US East 1, and default output format, it can be text or JSON, but let's stick with the default text, and it's done. So AWS S3 LS, just to make sure it's working. Oh god, I'm used to using AWS like this. AWS2 is going to drive me nuts, but AWS2 S3 make bucket, don't worry about it. Like we're gonna we will have a separate chapter for creating buckets, but I just want to test that things are working. So S3 URI, you use help to see. Okay, and S3 my bucket. Make bucket and my bucket 1 2 3 4 something. And it created a bucket. Now let's make sure the bucket has been created. Now we're going to go back to our web console. And there is our bucket. And I'm going to get rid of it because I don't want to create objects. Well, I don't want to keep objects that I'm going to need, not going to need. And this should be just a habit in general. As soon as you create something, like make sure, like at least until we get into the Terraform, we need to delete these objects manually. Okay, we did not have any buckets. We go back to the command line. Let's see, AWS2 S3LS, and the bucket is gone. So now we are set up with AWS command line. And next we're going to go on setting up our Google account, which is going to be a lot more painful. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you.